But keep in mind that just weeks ago, these very same morons were calling Trump a puppet of Saudi Arabia. But wait, Saudi Arabia wants the U.S. to stay in Syria. Does that make sense? No. And so after a while, you start to suspect that Trump's real crime isn't being a puppet of the Saudis or Putin. It's refusing to be a puppet of permanent Washington. That's what they really hate. Douglas MacGregor has been around all this for a very long time. He's a retired U.S. Army colonel. He's the author of the book Margin of Victory, and he joins us tonight. So, Colonel, I consider you a trustworthy source of information on these questions. Do you think it's an impeachable offense to withdraw our troops from Syria?
Well, of course not. That's ridiculous nonsense. Look, you've just done a great job of explaining why President Trump's decision was really a brilliant decision. First of all, President Trump, for the first time, made a decision to withdraw forces without consulting his inner circle. By the way, this is the same inner circle that has sabotaged every policy action that President Trump has tried to initiate, has obstructed the American First agenda from day one. So thank goodness he's not talking to them. Secondly, he's struck a blow for the American people against the warfare state. What you just showed on television is what we like to refer to as the Washington Uniparty. These are the people on your famous ship that's sinking right now. These are the individuals, lobbyists, legislators, retired senior officers, media. These are the individuals that want to cultivate conflict and keep forces mired everywhere, but as you say, leave our southern border, our borders, our territorial waters effectively open. So Donald Trump has done a great service because he's brought all of this out into the open. And he needs to remember something. When Richard Nixon did something similar and ended the Vietnam War and pulled our troops out under the best circumstances that he could get, he was not only reelected, when he went to his inauguration, he had a 68% approval rating. That's where Donald Trump is headed with the American people. Forget the people in Washington and the people that you just showed on the television.
Two quick questions. I noticed in all the coverage in the last 2 days, no one has made an explicit case for what the point of staying in Syria would be. I mean, they make these sort of broad claims, we can't help Putin or the Iranians, but no one ever gets up and says, okay, we're going to be there for 6 years, we're going to achieve these 3 things. Is there a case for it?
No, absolutely not. In fact, the good news is that the Russians, the Iranians, the Syrian government will do a very fine job of absolutely annihilating what remains of ISIS. The other point is that we were in a position in northern Syria where we were extremely vulnerable. Remember, we always had light troops there. They were always under threat of attack. We were waiting for another Beirut bombing to occur between the Turks, the Iranians, the Kurds, and so forth. And by the way, the Israelis, if they want to go in there and attack anything that they think is a danger to their security, they can do so. They're free to do so. We're out of the way. Yeah.
Amen. And last question, and I don't want to be too cynical, and I'm not a conspiracy nut. I take things at face value. But would it shock you if in the next couple of weeks or months Assad used chemical weapons against his people once more, and lo and behold, we can't leave Syria? Would that surprise you?
Well, look, let's hope that President Trump has learned from previous experience, and we don't have to go down that road again. The good news is that he's got some momentum now. He can make profound change. He can get rid of all of these people in the White House and the Department of Defense who are against him and against his policies. He needs to seize this opportunity and do precisely that.
Very smart. Colonel MacGregor, thank you very much for coming on tonight. It's great to see you.